I just wanted to see what the Black Lives Matter is doing and the Black Liberation Project. They're up to a lot of stuff out here, and so I'm just trying to get a good intake as far as the response from the Black community, as well as allies in the community. I myself operate with a group called SIMBA, and it's Sovereignty and Immunity for Multi-Ethnic Black Americans. And we're seeking independence from this government that I think is duly deserved. Citizenship was imposed upon us, and there's too many conversations in Congress during the time. The slave owners created the conditions of freedom. Blacks are legally slaves and have always been slaves of the United States of America and its states. And we are now property based upon the citizenship. Citizen means that you are subject to the jurisdiction of and its rules, obligations, and everything else. We've been denied reparations through the United States government. We need to bring this to an international level, but the UN and the United States have not signed that charter on human rights and dignity, because then they would be charged with human rights abuse against Black Americans. In the end, are we actually, or should we actually be asking for more equal rights as a population, or should we be asking for our independence from this government? We can't go to school without an education that is perverse and torturous. It's an emotional torture for a child to sit and learn how much of nothing you came from. Asking the state for a handout and being talked about because you're in that position. Constantly defending yourself, and if you defend yourself, then somehow you're a criminal. The right to bear arms became an issue in this country due to the fact that blacks were arming themselves against the KKK and against the militia of the police force that has decided to trample in on our communities to determine our movements. And why are we begging the same people who don't want to give us something? If they want to give it to us, they'd give it.
Yeah.
But we're begging instead and saying, hey, do this for me, write a rule and pay some corporation, nonprofit, and continuously asking for something that's not going to be given is kind of pointless at this point.
I think really difficult for people to maneuver their way through is the role of allies. And I'm curious to know what your thoughts are, only because the Black Lives Matter protest here today is probably half white.
We could say that without abolitionists that were white, there would not have been an abolishment of slavery. Just as much as whatever movement minority groups would like to pursue, they're going to need the ally from somebody that is outside of their group to be able to communicate within the group. They need to be listening. And so allies are just as equally important as those who are affected by it on the long term. First off, we need land. 40 acres was offered, 40 acres were taken. The cotton, the black soil down by the cotton fields, all the way into from Mississippi, Georgia to Florida, all the way up to the Carolinas, was given to blacks to build nation inside of this nation. And then it was stripped away.
What year was that?
This was Andrew Jackson. And he decided that we didn't deserve it. He gave the same land back to the slave owners. Why are we broke? Why are you broke when somebody stole from you? And stole you, pretty much. We are children of war, prisoners. And there is hope, there is a future, but it's up to us to determine that.